Wellness and also the creator of lupuswellbeing.org.
Oh.
So you will be seeing lupuswellbeing.org later this year, manifesting itself hopefully across the United States. Where we'll be encouraging individuals with lupus to be well-being, thriving over their disease. And I'll be speaking about authenticity and confidence while staying balanced. And I brought a card that means something very dearly to me. Change your thoughts, change your life. If you don't change your thoughts, you'll never change your life. And you'll never get to where you want to be despite whatever situation you're in. It doesn't start with your mindset. It will not manifest in the physical for you to see. And I gave all of you a confidence mantra. So I would like you, if you're chewing, go ahead and finish chewing. But we're going to read this together. And I gave you all this as part of something you can do every day to help build your confidence. So we're going to start. I am Donna. I am a beautiful being. I am capable and confident in myself. I possess all the right gifts and talents to serve others in my business. I am unique and offer my uniqueness in all I do. I create my abundance and wealth. I attract the right clientele and partnerships. I know what is for me is for me. I am one of a kind. I am successful and I will continue to walk in success. And so it is. So that is something you can use every day. I actually have mantras that I've recorded and I listen to them every day. So that helps me to just maintain my truth and keep on doing what it is I'm called to do. So how do you gain and maintain your confidence? What are some of the things that hurt your confidence? When you think of things that hurt your confidence, what are some things that hurt your confidence?
Criticism. Fear.
Well, those are all part of the things that you have to shift those things out. To maintain your confidence is something that you pretty much have to work on consistently to shift the negative thoughts, the negative people, the negative energy. Whatever you have to do, you have to continue to just go up to the next level. And as you look back a little bit, you'll see, okay, this is not where I want to be. So I'm working towards my next level and just shift the negativity and all the negative thoughts out. Another thing you can do to help build your confidence, affirmations and mantras. So she has affirmations. Veronica brought her affirmations book, so that's something, a tool you can use to help you stay on the positive tip and just continue to build that confidence within yourself. And then also mirror work. You can take the mantras and affirmations, look yourself in the mirror and say those things, because if you don't look yourself in the eyes, it's kind of like, how can you look at anybody else in the eyes? So you stand in your mirror and do your mirror work, or whatever it is you want to manifest in yourself. You just do the mirror work, so that helps you as well maintain your confidence. Personal development is big in there, because motivation runs dry, unfortunately, and momentum is something you need to keep yourself going. So the personal development is also very important to continue doing that. Just do the work. If you continue to do the work, you maintain your confidence, you gain even more confidence, and then you start to manifest the things that you want. You need the right people in your life as well. Okay, to make sure I don't miss anything. Authenticity. A lot of times we don't know what that means. That's being true, staying true to who you are, your beliefs, what you're called to do, and be real with people. When you show up, just show up and be real. Who you are, maintain your authenticity. If you're not sure, continue to look at where you want to be. And look at, okay, does the situation, also to being authentic, does the situation serve me that I'm in? Is this holding to my truth? So if it's not, then you need to change it, so you can continue to be authentic. You know, don't allow things to break you from that or sway you from your truth and being authentic. Anybody have any questions so far? And also, your authenticity, it will show up in your services and your brand. So think about that too. You make your own brand, not the fancy logos, none of that stuff. That can be all glitter and gold on the outside, but you're the one who sets it apart. You're the person that really sets that apart for everybody else to really see, okay, this is authentic, this is the business that I want serving me. My take on staying balanced is your work and your play, you should not know the difference between the two. When you're really into the groove of what you're doing, your work and your play are completely balanced to the point where you don't know the difference. When you're working, when you're playing, it's all meshed together because you're staying true to what you want to do. You're working in what makes you happy. It's your true happiness. So you don't even know the difference between the two. Also, if things become too stressful, shift them out. If you don't like doing the accounting in your business, find you an accountant. Find you some software, shift things out. Do not let it stress you out or take things off your plate, because everything is a work in progress. Do the things that need your attention right now, and the other things, you can just put them aside till later. Give them a due date of when you would like them accomplished. Make sure your goals are attainable and realistic. Do not set the bar too high for what you cannot do right now. Do what you can do right now and grow to where it is you want to be. Does anybody have any questions or any input or anything they would like to share? Because I know I talk really fast, so I've been a straight to the point kind of person. What is this one?
These are my affirmations.
And these are her affirmations. It says, I am determined to succeed. I will reach greatness.
Let me say it.
You want to say them? I'm sorry.
The affirmations are from my company. My company is Dreammakers Developmental Agency. Our motto is we are everything educational that aids in high student achievement. And basically what we do is we go around to different agencies like our club, like YMCA, like Mount Zion Progressive, and we implement our programs there. I just did a Dreammaker program at Mount Zion for like the 5th grade graduate. So, wherever I go, wherever Dreammakers go, we have our 11 affirmations. I am determined to succeed. I will reach greatness. I will use my life's experiences. I will acquire knowledge at all costs. I will remain motivated. I will manage my time wisely. I will give my all towards my dreams. I will keep my dreams alive. I will strive for excellence. I will remember the big picture because success is my final destination. So I give those, all of the students that I reach, everybody. That's the thing. You know, if you can go through those, just like what she was saying, I love the mantra, how you have to be confident in yourself. But I also like where you said you have to know yourself, keep your authenticity. You know, some people can be offended by our truth. But as long as we know who we are, we can always move forward. So, that's it. That's all I'm
Very
sharing.
important. Knowing your worth and knowing your truth are very important because people will try to down you on what you're trying to do all the time and tell you, how can you do it when you're perfectly capable. Right. Thank you, ladies. Awesome.
I love the affirmations. I'm also a school teacher by trade is what I do, and that's one of the things I have a wall in my classroom where my kids, they have to give affirmations at least to one other or two others, and it's actually I do Anytown in the summer, and it's a camp that works on diversity, and so that's one of the places where I have it from. So I love that. I also love the fact that you said that your business is not your logo, is not anything that's literally, it's yourself. And I love that. That is absolutely true. When you're looking at your business and that work, you should not be able to tell the difference between work and fun. If you get to that point where it is getting overstressed, especially stress is out. Absolutely love it. All right, our next speaker that we have coming up is Mrs. Brittany Daniels, excuse me. She is a business partner of mine, and we started a company called Soul Creations. So she's going to come up and kind of give you the aspect of what it's like, the pros and the cons of starting that new business.
Okay. Again, I'm Brittany. Nice to meet you all. And as she mentioned, we are the co-founders and the owners of So Unique Creations. And the way it came about was I like to use my hands. I like to craft. I have 4 children. I have 3 boys, and the last one's a little girl. And I always wanted a little girl. And we kept having boys, and then, surprise, we had a little girl. And so I was like, oh, I want her to be so cute and have the hair bows and the dresses. And over time, I started to look at different things I could do myself to create this look I wanted, or just to make things fun for her. So I went on YouTube and I looked up how to make hair bows. So I played around with it for a little bit, and I had an opportunity, and it came out pretty good. And then I started trying out different things, and I would just find like random pieces of ribbon and cloth around the house and use that. And then I'm over the youth ministry at my church, and I wanted for us to have a uniform. So we wear black and white, but we accent it with hair bows and with bow ties. So I brought some of the things that I've done for you to see. This is some of the bow ties that I've made that we wear with our youth group. And depending on the season, we switch out the different colors and whatnot, or just depending on how I feel. Christmas, hair bows, and things like that. So I started to do that, and I started making them for the whole youth group. And it brought a lot of attention, and people were like, oh, that's really neat that you did that. And then I wanted to renew my vows last year, so I decided that I wanted to make my own veil. So I made a bird cage veil, which I didn't bring it. I have to fix it, but it's a flower, and it's the short veil attached to it. But in the process, I started making hair bows, and also I made the little flowers you can attach to your suit jacket or to your shirt, and had a lot of fun with that. And in the process of planning my vow renewal, I made labels that I put on the jars for the candy buffet, and I made water bottles as well. And then my last thing that we've been doing favors for baby showers and for weddings. So I have a wedding next month, and I'm making by hand 200 gift boxes. And it's been a true treat to sit down and actually make them and do the ribbon and stuff like that. But when I first decided I wanted to do this, I had this great idea, but I didn't know what to do. So that's when, I have to say, God inspired me to link up with my best friend, and we started to sit down and actually look at what is it that we want to do in the business? What is it that we're trying to achieve? What can we do with it? So right now we're at the point where we are just trying different things out. We're trying to see what works, what doesn't work, what we can recreate, what we can make ourselves, and then just seeing how we can help other people enjoy the things that we've done. It hasn't been easy. Like Shaquana, I work for the school board as well, and I'm a mom and a wife, so it's a continuous job. You leave work, you go home, and you start working as a wife and as a mother. But when I go into crafting, I find a lot of joy, and it's a de-stressor. And I found, like what you said, that it should be able to intertwine. And when I'm crafting and when I'm making different things, I find so much joy and so much happiness, especially when I get to the end result. So it's a great opportunity. It is hard work. You want to hop in and have results immediately, and it takes time, just like anything else. It takes time. So I'm truly enjoying this ride that we're taking as we venture into our business, and we just help others enjoy the things that we've created and bring them happiness. So it's definitely been a treat. Exactly. see if I had any other thing. I had a couple other flowers that I've done, hair bows for little girls. Yeah, that's it. Any questions or anything?
So I have a question, like, for the wedding that you're doing, so somebody saw some stuff that you did and was like, hey, could you blah blah blah?
Yes, as a matter of fact, my grandmother celebrated her 99th birthday back in
Wow.
March. So my mom asked me, would I make the favors for the celebration? So I found these little boxes that look like little purses, and I filled them with candy, and I tied up pink and purple bows and hot glued them on there, and I ended up making a good 100, 150.
Wow.
And we decorated it with that. And then with my vow renewal, I made 200 water bottles, I believe. I did the candy bar. I made flowers for all the bridesmaids, the maid and maids to honor. And I just really found a lot of joy in doing it. So basically, people see things that I've done, and they ask, well, can you recreate this? Can you make this for us?
Do you have a website?
Yes, we do. We're actually on Facebook, and we do have our business cards up here
Okay.
as
Oh, I
well.
think I got it.
Okay.
This
Okay.
is it right here.
That's a different company.
Yeah, that's a different one.
Okay.
If you have the business card though, one company is on the front and another company
Yes.
is on the back, but they are separate
Yes.
companies.
And
Oh, okay, gotcha.
yes, so it is basically baby showers, weddings, any type of celebration where you want to make it special by decorating. If you want to do a buffet, depending on what it is, if we can do it, achieve it, we will do it. And yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, it's like you said, anything that you think that we can create or think that you might want us to create. Like at first, we had just recently something as simple as the water bottle,
Yes.
the water bottle label, and she was gonna purchase it from someone else. So she was like, "Well, can you recreate this?" And I was like, "No, I just no." And then it's like, God is just like, you know what? Sit down, be quiet, and just relax and just get on the computer. And it's like, okay, so I'm on a computer, and it's like it was absolutely creative. It was like a different level to our business, something added on to our business. And so the excitement and joy comes in as there's no limitation, so. Which brings us into the next business, which is called, come on in. Yeah. Which is called Why Not Consulting. And that business basically was, we were at church and Pastor was talking about how people need to start businesses. And he came up with something just off the top of his head. He was just like people should do businesses. Like if you do rims, do Jesus rims. And while he was sitting there preaching, but I was listening, but in the same aspect, he said do Jesus rims. And so I came up with the logo, I came up with the design that he can use, and everything else, what the rims look like. If you have rims, and one side will say, I believe in God, it's rolling rims or whatever it was, but it was just like these ideas just start popping in my head. And I was like, oh, I should work with people and help people start their own business. And I was like, oh, that's cute. And I kind of left it there. But when God calls you to do something, God calls you to do something. And so probably about 3-4 months after, I would say, oh, it's a crazy thought. They're not crazy thoughts, but we'll get to that in a minute. I'll put a pin in that one. But then Brittany came to me and she was like, we should start a business. I was like, oh my gosh, that sounds so wonderful. What do you want to do? Because if Brittany says it or if I say it, it's like we bounce off each other. It's like, yep, that's a great idea. Let's get it done, And it was like we started doing it, and it was like starting at ground level. I have another business. My husband and I have a business that is called Infinite Cinema, i.e. the camera. We record any type of event. It's either go off memory or go off DVD. And my husband always says, if you could see it with your eye, then we can record it. So that's what it is. And so we've had that business now for about 6 years. My husband had it prior to us getting married. He had the business. So it's a little different because he already had his motto. A lot of the things that he was doing, he already had. But when Brittany came to me and she was like, let's do this, it was like starting from the ground up. And then God reminded me as we were going through, it's like, oh, we got to get a motto, we got to get a logo, we got to get a website, we got to get this stuff going, how are we going to price it, what are we going to do, how are we going to reach our population? And God reminded me, hey, remember when I told you? And I was like, oh, yeah. So at the same time when So Unique was popping up, Why Not Consulting Agency was popping up, helping people start their businesses. A lot of times when people start a business, they think that I started my business, I don't have to worry about anything. I can just sit back and relax, I don't have to work, the money's just gonna start rolling in, and that is so not true, right? It's the furthest thing from the truth. When you start your own business, it is a process, and it is a growing process, it is a laying of the foundation, and people need to know that. You have to determine what you're gonna sacrifice. You have family that you're gonna sacrifice, and you have, if you're married, you have to sit down with your spouse and you have to decide, are you going to make these sacrifices? How much of this time are you going to give up? And as I know Brittany can attest, for like the first 3 years between being pregnant, I'm also a mother of 4, have 4 boys, and I think my ranges are 3, 4, 5, and 8. Just saying, that's how old they are. 3, 4, 5, and 8. So for the past few years, I've spent that time being pregnant, but still working, and still being a mother, still working as a teacher, still working our Infinite Cinema business, and like really trying to get it to grow, and being out there from 8 in the morning until 12 at night, recording video, and then going home and cooking at 2:30 in the morning, just be prepared for the next day, or whatever it is. It comes with a price. And you have to understand that if you wanted to grow and you wanted to go to those next levels that God is telling you to go to, that's what you have to do. Excuse me. People may think, why not consulting? So you think about the why, but if you look at your paper, it's the actual why instead of WHY. Although it makes sense to say WHY, why not consulting? Why not? Why not go into this business and absolutely do it and do what it is, what God has placed on your heart for you to do? Why not do it? But the why also stands for a few other things. Yearn not, because God does not want you to yearn for the things that He's already given to you. And we think and we sit and we wonder, well, what does God want us to do? Well, God is saying, we're saying, God, give this to me, give this to me. I need, I want. But God is saying, I've already planted this seed in you, and instead of you cultivating it, you keep sitting down on it. You have something in you that God is. If you look at the scripture at the bottom, it says, Luke 24:32, and they said to one another, did not our heart burn within us while He talked with us on the road and while He opened the scriptures to us? It's the same thing. God has said something to you. God has said something to us to say, this is the business that I want you to go into, and we still saying, well, God, how am I going to do this? How am I going to make this? How am I going to do this? How am I going to make ends meet? Or whatever it is that you're asking God, how are you going to do it? You yearn not. The other one is the other why is for yak not. A lot of times God gives something to us, and the first thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about it, and we're going to be like, oh, this, and this, and I'm telling you about this, and God told me this. And a lot of people are like, you just got to hush. No, you got to listen. You got to listen to what God is telling you. Everything that He's giving you is not for you to talk about, but it's for you to do it so that you can have something to talk about. And so we have to learn how to yak not. And then the last one, well, it's not the last one, but the last one that I'm going to talk about today, I told my husband, I said, oh, I got it. I'm just going to do 3 today. That's it. Because there's always more to come. And the last one is yoke not. Because the yoke is not for us. The burdens of a business is not for us. And it took me, and I have to be honest, it took me a really long time. It took me until recently. Maybe within the past 2 years. We've been growing this business for a long time, and I'm telling you, it was like the most strenuous. I'm like, my husband is nuts because he wants me to do this. But the thing about it is he knew I could do it, but I was just like, really, dude? We really have to figure something out, but not verbally. It's still like, okay, let's keep going. But I'm dead tired. I'm tired of this. But then God showed me in this past 2 years, when we did it, it was the lightest thing ever. And it was the most amazing. It was just amazing. And the business has grown. It has grown so substantially that it's just like, I'm super duper excited, and it's not just the fact that it's grown is why it's light. It's grown because I realized that this burden is not for me. It's not for me. If God has given it to you and He's planted that seed in you and you're cultivating that seed, you cultivate it the right way, you're not going to have to worry about it. And so why not consulting has so so many more meanings than just why not. You know what I'm saying? So just think about that when you're starting your business. Know that there's a plan, and that's what my company offers. You have an idea, let's grow that idea. Let's make that idea bigger and better. Understanding that there is a process that goes along with it. Understanding that you are not gonna just overnight just. And I say that, and then I put an asterisk next to it, because then I also say that anything is possible with God. You can start that business because God has given it to you, and then that business starts, and it just, and you're giving all the glory to God. So if you're interested, Why Not Consulting, we are absolutely here, and we're ready to service you. I thank you, and I think, does anyone have any questions? Yes. Yes.
Your business can, or if you have an online presence. When you have the online presence, people from anywhere can find out about your business. Instead of just, it's best to have an online presence. It's best to have an online presence so that other people can find you, and it's not just going to be local people. It could be like millions and millions of other people from around the world, and it helps you build your network. I'm gonna make 5 of them. So
That's okay.
we have 5.
Keep going. You good?
So
Can I add to that? Can I add to your online? Just adding to that, it is very true. And this woman here, True Essence Party Planning is the one who planned the event, put everything together. And I have to say, it's absolutely phenomenal. We sat down with her, was it Monday? Monday. She got our Facebook page up. She got her Facebook page. She got all 3 of the companies linked together so that we can use the companies and grow them. And we just sat down Monday, and we got so much work done, and not a whole, like we started maybe at like 9:30, 10 o'clock, and about 1 o'clock, these things were done. And so she is definitely an asset to us. We're going to be doing more business seminars. I'm excited. I hope y'all are excited. I hope y'all bring some more excited people with you. So yeah, excitement. That's just like, it's fully what it is. But that online is very serious. We're still developing, and it's just like I did our web page. I did one of the web pages. The other web page, I was like, if you go to it, it's under construction, but I'm okay with that. It's still starting out. I've got 2 up and running. Infinite Cinema is up and running. So Unique is up and running. I'm good. Why Not Consulting? It's coming. But it's coming. But she does all.
It's very time consuming to have an online presence, and for people like me, okay, being real right now, I'm hard of hearing. So people like me who can't get out and hear everything that's going on, I do a lot of this. And because I do a lot of this, I'm good at building your web page. I'm good at building your whole online presence, period. And while you guys are out and about, you guys bringing in that information or getting your information out. So when someone goes to, okay, let's see if they're real, and they'll type it up, they'll have the CEO or the SEO, search engine optimization. That's exactly what it's called. If I pull up, let's see, creations, and her thing pops up, you're gonna get her website, you're gonna get her fan page, everything. It's more to just having a Facebook page. You have to have a wide variety of all social media. You have to interact with your
Customers.
I want to say patrons, but your customers and everyone. You have to interact with them. If you don't interact with them, you're kind of going to lose business, because that makes it seem that they have a real close relationship with you. And if they have that, that makes them feel more comfortable. And when they're more comfortable, well, they're going to tell her, and then they're going to tell her, and then they're going to tell her, and then everybody's going to get together, and you got so much business going on and you don't know what to do. Then you're going to have to start hiring people to help you do this, that, and the other in order for you to keep going. So I just want to see.
Anything
If this is it, we do have Kim. She came and for those of you who have, I don't know if you guys said you guys want to do this makeup. She is here for doing your makeup. That is her job. So she's sitting there waiting nicely and every guy decided to come over. They have a picture and everything. They will listen to your 8 out of 10 of it. Smile. When people don't smile, it makes them seem like, oh man, I don't know what's going on. I don't know, and that makes me feel kind of. I'm like, okay, well, they were really interested in what I have to say. So we have to. There she is. I hope you guys enjoyed your presentation. Do you have anything you want?
I have the copies of my 2 books that I wrote. With Dreammakers, I also have a couple of books that I've written. Well, a couple of books were birthed through me. I'll say that. 30 Days of Affirmations and Other Inspirational Writings. That is this one, and it's kind of like a daily word. So you have the affirmations that I read. They are the first 11. But then like there's, I said 30, right? So it's like 20 more. It's some more. So, but it has, you know, just something about the affirmation and challenges for us every day. You know, like if it says, I will strive for excellence, and then at the bottom it says, make an effort today to perfect everything that you do. If you do, you will be striving for excellence. And then it has a place for your thoughts. And then it has in the back, who did God create you to be? Those are some of the other inspirational writings. Have you ever been to a place? You know how we all get to that place where, you know, this is not where God meant for us to stay, but this is where we need to be for right now, because He is preparing us for the next level. The other one is, don't allow the enemy to throw you off your game, because this is a game of life. And the enemy's job is to keep us from doing what it is that God has chosen us to do. And so that's 30 days of 30 days of affirmation. The next one is Words for Life, Miss James's Pocket Wisdom. We're educators, and we all know that we say little things to our little babies to kind of snap them back into place. Whenever someone is teaching, you should make your best effort to learn. Excuses are only good for those who make them. And over the years, I've been teaching. This is year number 20 for me. I started teaching when I was 6. So I do have that story. But anyway, so I mean, you know, like when kids don't have their homework, or when kids have whatever, you know, excuses are only good for those who make them. And after a while, I made a poster and put it on the wall. And so I didn't even say it anymore. I was just pointing. And then it got to the point where my students were like, because she's not going to go for that. And here's another one. Don't just think you are somebody. Know you are somebody. And, the report card. Don't allow your report card to misrepresent your intelligence. So I have some posters. Here's one. Expect greatness from yourself and you will deliver. I have these posters. I have this one in like the big size. You know, and here's the one. Don't allow your report card to misrepresent your intelligence. So these are posters. And we also have like videos. Me for me, shut up. Some, I'm sorry. Okay. Okay, so anyway, anyway, it's so funny, but it's these are just a few of the things that, you know, that we say over the years to our students. And so I was teaching at a middle school in St. Pete. Not Tyrone, not where I am right now. But I was teaching at another middle school, and I just found myself just really kind of feeding into their common sense side of life. You know, because these kids at this particular school that I was at other people would say they were bad and they were horrible and they were this and they were that. But they came to me at the newspaper, you know, like with the little school newspaper because I was new there, and they was like, well, Miss James, what do you think about our school? Well, you can't say anything bad, you know? Mm-hmm. So I said, the kids here at this school, they have character.
That's right.
And we do. We have good character and we have better character. You know? And so those are just some of the things. And so I have some classroom stories and I have some of the things in here. And also some of the other quotes from other people. So this book has posters. It also has YouTube videos that go along with this book. And I just think that, like I said, these are not books that I sat down one day and I was like, I'm going to write a book. Because that's not what a whole lot of authors do. I think that they step into that mode when they get a publishing company and the publishing company say, you got to crank out 3 by the end of this year. I got a book promoter, and you know that's the first thing that girl said to me. You need to write 2 more books by 2015. Well, that ain't how I write my books. But it is what it is. So I have these right here. Every situation deserves a 360-degree view. So these are some of the things I did. My little Facebook page, and you know, you have to talk to your fans, just like you said. You have to communicate with the people who you want to buy into you on a daily basis. And so that's what I've kind of like stepped into, because like what I've learned is that when this book came out in 2010, it is totally different. I'm just like, I have a different mindset for this book that came out in 2013. And so I have the books here, and they're reasonable. They're reasonable because like I'm going to be doing a book signing in July at Reader's Choice. If you guys haven't had a chance to go down to Reader's Choice, please get there, because she has like a wealth of information, and she has a lot of books that are just like at our fingertips. If it's something that you want, she will order it for you. I mean, she's just that good, and she's that supportive. This book right here, I can see it happening at her bookstore, because last Sunday I was at her bookstore, and she was saying that we did like woman talk. Have you heard of it? So it's like every other Sunday, like last Sunday, so it's not this Sunday, it's the next Sunday, women talk. And so they bring in people to have conversations, good conversations, things about health and about, you know, like nature and stuff like that. Anything that you want to do, she has an avenue for us. And that's what we need to do. We need to kind of like get together. And I mean, I've seen Donna has had these things a lot, but it seems like I always have something else going on. And so I was glad that I was able to be here today, because this is a good environment, you know. And this is what we need to help build each other up. So that's it.
Does anybody have any final thoughts or anything else, or that they'd like to add? Yes, go.
Something that I didn't hear mentioned a lot about with having your own business is customer service and giving good customer service to your clients. It's a very important part, and that sets you apart from, you know, your competitors, having good customer service. And understand, I've worked in the customer service field for about 8 years, aside from my unique business, but that's one thing I feel like that sets me apart from other sellers of Unique is my customer service that I do supply to my customers. I read horror stories on our corporate page all the time. People, they don't reply back, or they sell them something and they don't give them, you know, directions, or they have an issue with them, they can't get their problem settled. So my whole thing with having my own business is making sure that I provide the right customer service. I've been through tons of customer service seminars and training. One of the main things they teach you is to understand the customer. Like, I know what they may be saying, may be pissing you off at the time, but you have to try to see it from their viewpoint. I don't want to say that the customer is always right, but that's how you have to make them feel, you know, that you do understand and hear what they're saying. A good thing is you listen, you repeat it, so that they understand that you understand. And then a lot of times, if they are wrong, if you say it back to them, they will, you know, they might hear how they sound, and then maybe you're not don't, okay, you don't just sound crazy, you know. So a lot of times it's repeating back to them what they want, and then a lot of times it's just pacifying and, okay, maybe you gotta tell them what they want for right now until you can get whatever issue is. You may not have the answer, okay, I'm gonna research, I'll get back to you. A lot of people will just, you know, tell people no, because they don't wanna do the research. And that's one of my biggest pet peeves is you telling me no, but you didn't even go try to find out, or you didn't go try to find the information. I used to work with somebody who would do that all the time. They just tell people no, but it was a simple solution to the problem. But take the time, research it, be knowledgeable in whatever it is that you're doing so that you can answer those questions. You can answer the questions, go back, get the info that you need, and so you can answer that person's question. Customer service, it leaves a life, you know, a real good impression on the person they get customer service, and that'll help with the word of mouth of spreading, you know, talking about your business and whether it's a service or product, you know, that's something that I take pride in.
That's so true, because the other night, when one of our coworkers asked us to make labels for a baby shower she was doing today. And we're thinking that we're gonna do like labels, we're gonna put them on the water bottles, we got a plan going. And she's like, no, I just want you to design it, and that's it. And we were like, oh, okay. So, you know, in our mind, we're thinking, okay, this is what we're gonna do, this is how it's gonna be, bam, 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 we'll have it done. But she only wanted to have us design it. So instead of us saying, no, we can't do that, no, you're gonna have to either, you know, have us get them and make them, and you pay us $2 a bottle, and, you know, it has to be this way. Or we could have said, you know what, you're right. So we did, we said, you know what, we'll design it for you. You know, you pay the $5, and she was like, you know, this is great, I appreciate it, and this is good advertisement for the baby shower when people be calling you. So that customer service is very true, having good customer service.
And it added another level of options to our business that we didn't think existed previously.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And also sometimes, because I deal with customer service all the time, sometimes if you apologize, just I'm sorry for your frustration. They don't know what to say. It's just like, oh, okay. You know, I mean, it just stopped them right there. Yeah. I mean, because they're not expecting that. They want to fight, and it's like when you know, I do apologize, or I'm sorry for your frustration. Like, that's it. That's all they want to hear.
With that, I completely understand the frustration.
Yep.
I do apologize. That's what I can do my job.
Inconvenience, whatever.
Yeah. So,
Live wires, you know.
I want to thank y'all. Donna, thank you for inviting me to this. It's been on my calendar for 3 months, and I am so glad that I made it here. It was a pleasure meeting all y'all. I hope we continue to know